Question number 3 is from Ashley. So, how do I listen to my inner knowing? I doubt myself so much and so often question what's the right choice.
Yes. I think that this is like such a relatable question just because so many of us like struggle with that, whether it's like because of like self-worth or just even like being a people pleaser. I feel like that a lot of the time can disconnect us from our intuition um and anxiety like can be a huge point of like questioning ourselves. But just acknowledging that like I think in one way or another like a lot of people can relate to this. So I love this question. I always say that I envy people who are just like sure of stuff. Um because I'm like, dang, that must be nice. And also like maybe you have moments where you're really sure, but then you doubt it because of, I mean, so many things. But I think, one of the things that's really coming to mind is, first of all, how to listen to your inner knowing. Um, it's like really like, for me, what has come into play even more recently in my own life is like quieting the external noise, going inward. Like, journaling it out, like writing out like what's happening and really clarifying and understanding what the experience is, because it's really sometimes it's really hard to like tune in when we have so much external, like, I don't know, obviously we don't have like the full context of this question or like what the doubt is specifically about, but just to speak to like some of these things of like maybe it's doubting a decision or like how to approach something or a relationship or a job situation. When you like get online or when you talk to friends or when you talk to family, whoever, right? Like everybody's going to bring their own experience into it and their own perspective or like what worked for them. And sometimes that can like create so much noise around our truth and how something feels to us or like what we're willing, like whatever journey or whatever we're willing to sit through. So I think the first thing is really like try to not rely on the external so much and really start to tune in. And before you go looking for input, like really get clear with yourself on how you feel. Because then if you do decide to have conversations with other people, when they give feedback, it's so much easier to be like, that I can feel that that's not true for me.
Yeah.
That doesn't resonate or whatever, and like be more boundaried in that. And then two, also just like understanding that like the right choice, whatever choice you make is the right choice because it's the choice you're making. And listen, I get it. It's like nobody wants to hear that because we want like absolutes and we want everything to fit in a beautiful box with a bow. And girl, I'm speaking from experience because I'm like, this is hitting on. I mean, this is hitting for me right now. I am struggling, folks, with just in my own journey with something that has really brought this up for me. And like, obviously we've talked about it, but I think like for me, what I'm really leaning into right now and what I've learned just in my most recent experience with this is like being able to trust and surrender to like whatever's on your heart, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's hard, whatever's coming up is like, no, this is like the decision I need to make. Even if there's resistance, like whatever really is weighing on you is probably the right choice. And I think we're called to the right choice way quicker than we're able to like mentally come to terms with, because
sometimes the right choice sucks.
Oh my God. So literally sometimes the right choice sucks. And it's also like sometimes it confronts our desires, how we feel. Like it can be so hard to sit in what's like right.
Yeah.
Because life is so complicated and so I feel it. But that's like my thoughts on it? I don't know
Yeah.
lay it on me,
Well,
girl.
I think those are two great points of like turning the volume down on all of the external noise, and leaning into the people in your life that you actually like trust and value and respect their opinion, because we can really fall into the trap. And I know you and I have both talked about our own experiences with this. We hear from a lot of people who experience like the trap of scrolling online, social media, and seeing all the things that you should be doing according to these people who have a big platform. And of course, it's from their own life experience, their own bias. And so you start to compare in a lot of ways of like, oh, should I be desiring this for my life? Or is this the decision that I should make for my career, or the way that I'm parenting, or the way that I'm engaging in this relationship, or whatever it is? And so turning that volume down. And sometimes that means closing the apps, like just spend some time away from that, like set some boundaries. Also, set some boundaries sometimes with people in your life. Like maybe you have people not in the online space, but in your real face to face life who want to always throw opinions at you, and you should be doing this or shouldn't be doing this. And it can feel really confusing and can like muddy the waters of what's theirs versus what's yours, and what are you adopting versus what you actually want and know to be true for your life. And the other thing that's coming to mind, like you talked about, is we usually know. Like we usually know what the quote unquote right choice is, or the next step that we need to take. It's usually pretty clear, and sometimes we don't want to take that step because it's painful, or because it's unfamiliar, uncertain what the outcome is going to be, or what the next steps from there are going to be. But usually we have some sort of that inner knowing, or the intuition, or the gut feeling that we get. Usually that's the indicator of like, this is what you should do next. This is the next step you should take. And we don't always want to listen. And so sometimes it can be helpful to reach out to a person that you actually trust and value their opinion, and to say, this is the situation that I'm in. This is kind of like what my gut feeling is telling me, but like, I don't know what to do next. And get their opinion and just use that as their perspective, and to just kind of use it as an opportunity for reflection, but not necessarily a prescription for what you need to do next.